Nick, you told me a month ago that if everything went right, we would be standing right here having this conversation. What was going through your mind as your horse was 10 lengths out of it early on?
Well, as you know by now, I'm kind of a blessed guy, and I can't thank God enough, number one. I can't thank you, number two, because you've been in my corner, HRTV, I appreciate it. All the guys, Jeff, everybody. I'm emotional tonight. I haven't been this emotional since Strike the Gold.
What is it about this horse?
So, I don't know. It's amazing, but I'm not ashamed of it. I can tell you that much. So, it's a great game, but you know, once in a while, special horses come around, and he's a special horse. And I know what he was doing, what he did, and what can I tell you? You know what he did, breaking his maiden, coming back, winning the Holy Bull, running against Equestria, who's, believe me, a top horse in his own rank. It's hard to run against older horses, and he proved it today. The track is favoring speed, and he defied the track. He's just an amazing horse, and I just hope God stays with him, and at least one more race anyway.
Well, Nick, we thank you so much. We appreciate everything.
No, I can't thank it. And Jeff and Aaron, they did a great job, Evan Veracruz and Jeff. And, you know, Jeff's getting to be a good handicapper, trust me. But excuse me for this, but even grown men cry.
Congratulations, Nick. Who went down? Did you see?
The most awful thing I've ever seen in horse racing just now.
What was that?
Filly, 8 Bell, she broke both front legs.
After the wire?
After the wire, galloping out. That's the worst thing I've seen 18 years I've been riding. It's awful, sad, very sad.
Thanks for the words, Robbie. Mr. Zetcher, it looks as though your horse got up with the magician Bob Baffert again. What's your reaction here?
Unbelievable. I mean, he's a little baby, and now he's winning the Santa Anita Derby. Unbelievable.
How about that?
Did you ever expect an effort like this, Bob?
I thought he could win today. He looked so good in the paddock. He worked really well, and when I got number 6, I thought this could. Remember, I told the valet, maybe 6 means my 6th Santa Anita Derby.
Unbelievable.
How's your first?
Our first time. This is amazing. Let's go down and get
Congratulations, guys. How have the past 15 or so hours been for you since winning this race?
Nothing short of crazy. It's just been extraordinary.
How many different directions have you been pulled in that span of time?
Pretty much everywhere. I mean, it was just somebody. We were at the party in the museum after the race, and somebody said to me, "It's 9 o'clock." I was like, "What happened to the last 2.5 hours? You know, where did it go?" So it was amazing.
Johnny told us he didn't hear a single thing when he was coming down that lane with 164,000 fans. What did you hear? What did you feel? What did you see?
It was amazing. You know, when they got to the 8th pole, I was just hoping nobody would get to him. You know, I thought this is going to be the cruelest thing if somebody gets to this horse now, because I felt like he was going strong. I felt like we were pretty much home free, and I just kept thinking, you know, I just hope nobody gets him now.
How much will the fact that he only had 4 previous runs going into the Derby help him along on this journey down the Triple Crown in your mind?
I think that's got to be huge for him. I think getting to this point with a relatively fresh horse, I think that's a big deal. And to me, he didn't appear to have that hard a race yesterday.
Graham, you were born in Cambridge, England. You moved out here to the States at the age of 16. Did you have dreams of the Kentucky Derby, or Derby as they might have called it in England growing up?
You know, I really didn't, and I don't mean that to belittle it. It's just not something that I was brought up with. But obviously, the longer I've been here, this has been more and more of a dream of mine. And I never imagined at my age to win this race. It's just not something I expected to do.
Well, I've got to ask you about the decision to put Johnny Velazquez aboard and how it all transpired. How difficult was it for you to be in that situation?
Yeah, it was an extraordinary decision to have to make Derby week. You know, Robbie came out and worked this horse, and he'd obviously ridden him before. We just had strong concerns about what his well-being was going to be on Saturday. He wasn't able to ride on Friday. You know, the partners were very concerned about it. And the decision was made. I mean, I made the call to Robbie myself, and it was a really tough call to make. But, you know, at the end of the day, there were a lot of guys involved with this horse, and there's only one Derby. You only get one shot, and it was a decision that they felt had to be made, and that's the way we went.
What were your thoughts?
You know, I thought the filly was very comfortable and stuff. You know, she went 12 and change pretty much the whole way, nice and relaxed. You know, just she isn't quite as fast as she was at one point last year, and hopefully this is a step in that direction. I think the filly, you know, when she loped away from Be Fair in the second turn, she looked really good, but the other mare was on her immediately, you know, and she didn't give a lot from there to the wire. But you know, just kind of steady, but not real quick.
What did Calvin have to say?
He was very happy with how she acted today and relaxed. You know, just very concerned with how she was after the race. He said she felt 100%. You know, just not knocked out, and thought that she came back well.
Do you feel discouraged at all?
Well, absolutely. You know, but you don't run a horse looking to get beat by any means, let alone somebody like Rachel. You know, it's hard to imagine her getting beat, but it just happened.
Do you think that any of it has to do with the racing from last year?
I think there's an adage in racing: you get paid for what you do, but you pay for what you do in every instance. And obviously, I think that this is somewhat of a hangover from it.
I think sometimes we expect too much from these horses, given what they go through.
Well, I think that she's a brilliant mare, you know, and it's a race and it's a measurement, you know, and as far as what we're expecting is where we're at as far as on that measurement. She's a tremendous filly. The part that, you know, her health is excellent. She's an extremely sound filly, you know, a lot of positives, but it is a race and you have to go faster than your competition to win, and that's what we're trying to find.
You experienced defeat with Curlin back when he was running, and experiencing defeat here. No, I know, but just, is it tougher with this filly?
I don't know. You know, when Curlin got beaten, you know, that equal bad, real bad is real bad. You know, it's way there. You know, or ouch. You know, I don't know. You know.
In terms of finding that speed,
like,
you have to.
Shoes are way too small. Something. I don't know.
I'm here with the owner Yoshima Ishikawa. Overcome with emotion. First of all, how does this feel considering everything that your country has gone through?
日本大変なことになってますけれども、これも含めてどんな気持ちですか？
もうお土産にね持って帰りたいと思います。この優勝をね。
Big souvenir, the big souvenir for Japan, to take it back. It's winning. It's win.
What was going through your mind over the course of the race?
Can you say again?
What was going through his mind over the course of the race?
レースの前はどのような気持ちでしたか？
いやもうどうなるか思ってだいぶ心配しておりました。
Very worried about what's going to happen.
There's been a lot of support here at Meidan for the Japanese people. How has that been like for you guys?
の方がこの名談競馬場で応援してくれてるようでしたけど、それに関してはどう思いますか？
もう感謝しております。皆さんね、大勢で来てもらってね、応援してもらってますので、喜んでおります。
I very appreciate a lot of people support us, everybody in Japan, and thank you very much for that.
Well, the world congratulates you. Thank you so much.
ありがとう。どうもありがとうございます。どうもすみません。